Hello, my dear friends. This is Marta with Universal Power Tarot, and these messages we bring you today are supposed to encourage, elevate, and empower you guys. Hi, my friends. How is everyone doing? Like I already announced, maybe you've seen it in the comment section, I wanted to integrate like a couple of pick-a-cards again because I know that some of you really like those, and I also wanted to switch it up a little bit like throughout 2024. So there you go. The topic of this pick-a-card is where will you be in a year from now. So it doesn't matter like what date is today, it matters when this is reaching you, and then a year from now, the amount of growth you've achieved, which area have you grown the most in, and what do you have to do in order to get to where Spirit is trying to lead you. Okay, so we have our beautiful pile number 1 here with the clear quartz, and as you can see, I have already pre-shuffled all your cards. We have pile number 2 with the amethyst, and then we have pile number 3 with the blue agate. Okay, so let's hop right in, make your choice, and I'll see you at your pile. Hello, pile number 1. If you have chosen the clear quartz, then this is your reading. Where will you be in a year from now? We're going to have a look. I actually thought 4 cards were going to come out, but you have 3 cards. The other piles have 4, and I was like, oh, we need to take another one. And Spirit was like, no, 3 is good. So I was like, either the number 3 means something to you. Hang on, let me just extinguish this. This is a little bit too much. Either the number 3 is significant for you in terms of healer number. I just saw 3 on the phone too, so 00003, which is very interesting. As your first card, you have the Ace of Pentacles in terms of where will you be in a year from now. There's a huge energy of new beginnings going on here. You have the Lovers, which can signify a very significant relationship, but also a decision that will be made by then. And we have the Ace of Wands. So there will be a lot of new beginnings that will have come in a year from now. So be prepared for this, because I also feel there's a lot of energy that has been building up in your life. Like you're ripe for a change here, my dear pile number 1. Oh my gosh, you are ripe for a change, 100%. Maybe you aren't quite happy in some areas in your life. Maybe financially there is some, room for improvement that you feel like, or in terms of motivation here too, there is some room for improvement. So there's definitely the chance to grow in these areas here. Also in terms of your relationships, with the Lovers card here, also with the relationship within yourself. So I see those. There's a huge chance for improvement here in those areas. Okay. We need more cards. Yes, we need to pull more cards. I'm still figuring this out, so bear with me. Like by pile 1, pile 2, I'll be, knowing what we need to be doing. So let's see. Yeah, let's just roll with it and see how we go. This one, no, yes. So the crystallary is coming in. Interesting. I'm just trying to figure out if there's anything else I need to be saying about these cards. Aces are always something that is divinely given, so you're ready for it, and here it is. Okay, it also lets me know like how much growth you have already done. Let me see what else wants to come in here. This one, yes. Wow, envision the future. So this is really okay. We're confirming those cards. Very interesting. You have the precious opal with envisioning the future, and it goes together with your Ace of Pentacles here. Do you see this? This is really rich and abundant. If you've ever looked at an opal, they're incredibly beautiful, and also very mesmerizing. So what is important for right now to get from point A to point B here, so to get to this new financial stable beginning that is wanting to come in here for you within the span of a year, is you need to manifest. You need to really hold on to your vision and to what you think your future holds for you. This is really important. That also means holding your vibration. That also means, my dear pal number 1, to have a good relationship with yourself. Self-love, self-care, that's really, really prominent for you in this year to get there, okay, to get to those new beginnings here for you, to be more motivated, to have that stability in your life, okay, because I know that this year could easily throw us for a loop if we're not being present, if we don't have those things in place. So there's that recommendation for you here. And to become a vibrational match to that which you're trying to bring in here. Okay, that's one of the most important things, because if we're manifesting it all good and well and then it is here, but then we can lose it easily if we're not a vibrational match, or it won't come in for us, or not as quickly. So, and please bear in mind, this is what they're saying too. It really depends very much on you and on your actions and what you're choosing to do with this information, if you're choosing to take action or not. Because this is for right now, your energetic imprint. In 2 weeks, your energetic imprint might look completely different, and you might want to pick a different pile, or no pile of this reading at all. And then this, so it's really like a snapshot, an energetic snapshot. Just be aware of this. So this could come in way faster for you too, depending on your own actions and involvement here. More of this? No. This one, yes. Okay, cool. So, excuse me, the gateway of light wants to come in here for you. What else do we have for pile number 1, please? Let me just check. Are we... Okay. We're not at the area which has grown the most, or which has the most potential yet. We're still with the first one, like what will change within that year. This one, yes. This is pretty big. You have the Arcturian light codes, and again that iridescence that the opal already was showing. You have evolutionary downloads, recalling power, future thinking. Again, this is crazy, because it really is, again, calling you in the future, and be like, pile number 1, envision what your life needs to look like. And look at the gorgeousness of this card. It's very colorful, very iridescent, much like the opal card here. I hope you can see enough of it. And to really, really, really step into those energies of envisioning what you want your future to look like. Step into a place of love rather than fear throughout this year, because I can feel it in my heart now, in my heart space. Which area are you tapping yourself into? What are you seeing? What are you perceiving about your life right now? Where do you want it to be? And collectively also, where do you see the collective right now? Where do you want to see it in a year from now? Okay, this is really important. Read this card? No. You may also identify as an Arcturian starseed. I want to mention this here because it could be relevant for you. Very interesting. Call upon your guides. This is really important, and I'm seeing like almost like wings coming out of a heart here. Do what excites you, you know, do what brings you joy to raise your vibration also. Some of you could be working with, if you have a partner, or you can also do this by yourself, through the means of sexual energy, right? So really manifest with that, because that's also quite powerful. You might want to have a look into that. Or you may have recently had a look into this. You're definitely receiving light codes, okay? And that can be taxing on the body. I want to mention this here for you, pile number 1. What else, please? This one? No, 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 yes. Okay, so heart and soul oracle is what wants to come in here for you. So let me see. That would fall right underneath the 8 of Wands. Any of these? No. Okay. What else do we have here for my dear pile number 1s? By the way, clear quartz is also great for manifesting, and also to clear like your energetic system. You can, clear quartz is good for a lot of things, I want to say, and you can also set the intention and ask the clear quartz to what you feel it should be doing for you, which is interesting, because I feel there's a lot of choice points and things that are up to you here, like how your life in 1 year is going to look like. This one is, oh, interesting. Oh my God, looks just as complex, like the opal, and like, you know, when you're looking into a kaleidoscope, that's kind of like what I'm picking up here on. Look at this. So pretty. And it says, you are a living work of art, a most sacred and eternal being. We're coming back to the Arcturians here, A multidimensional field of energy with no beginning or end. You are a floating island of consciousness, swimming within a cosmic sea of love. Live the dream. Dare to be extraordinary. So your future here, I feel, can be exactly what you want it to be, which is incredible. So dream big, pile number one. Dream big and make it happen for yourself. Envision it. Feel it, be it, embody it. That's what I'm feeling here. And you'll feel a lot more power coming in, a lot more light codes coming into your life, showing you what a powerful being you actually are. And I really feel a strong connection with the Arcturian tribe here. And to establish that connection also more and more. And I'm really getting excited about this because this is amazing. You know, when this is applied, this is incredible. And the Ace of Wands is speaking to that too, you know. It's like Indra's net. So it's like one idea sparks the next, and then it starts to become really, really exciting here. So that is quite something. And I feel like that opalion. So if you do have, it's funny, today I'm wearing like the fire opal. Yeah, I made this myself, which is really cool. Not the stone, obviously, but the ring. So this is also speaking to you, which is interesting, you know, making something yourself from something it was not. So very much so. And opal might indeed be another crystal that might be helping you here, that might be sparking something for you. It is beautiful. So Spirit, we want to also know, please, which area in their lives they will have grown the most in 1 year, please. Love. Okay, I don't have to pull a card for this right now because they're saying the area of love. So this is interesting because we were already mentioning, you know, which side are you tapping yourself into? Are you tapping yourself into fear, and is it getting a tight space? Or are you tapping yourself into the space of love, and are you expanding, and with that allowing the world around you to expand as well, which is gorgeous because you're just allowing things to be as they are. That's what unconditional love actually, you know, might mean. To leave things as they are, to allow them to unfold in the way that they need to unfold, yet recognizing your creator power, your creator potential here, the powerful being that you are, and the influence you have through your heart space here. So there could be a heart expansion that is happening throughout this year, leading you forward. Yeah, you know, more leading with the heart is very present here, and shining out your heart light, and again becoming so aware of your power within that year. And of the power of love, really. This might sound cliche, but it's far from it, because that is not an easy thing to do. It's not what you see in the movies, you know, oh, happy ending. Yes, it's that too, but it's also the way there, right? So we would encounter shadow work, and we would, you know, as I said earlier, when you want to go from point A to point B, you may have to raise your vibration. So that means maybe encountering people, or maybe you already are starting to encounter people that may not be as easy to love. Or situations like in the world that are not easy to love, yet sending those situations love, and being okay with them being so, because they serve a purpose, they serve a greater purpose. And I think there's a lot of awakening that might be happening within this year for you, my dear pile number ones. Pretty sure of it, actually, by judging by the cards here. Okay, so the area of love is the one that has the most growth potential for you within that year. Let me just check, because I wrote it down and I don't want to miss a thing. What do you actually have to do actively to reach that point of growth, or how can you reach the maximum amount of growth? Okay, the Healing Waters Oracle is wanting to come to us. So let's check it out. I'm getting so much excitement. Like, it's wonderful. Like, I'm feeling this expansion, you know, definitely from the heart space, which is incredible. And to go with it, you know, to connect yourself with those higher energies here, pile number one. I'm so excited for you. This is amazing. This is so cool. Okay, what? This one, no. How can they achieve the most growth in said area? This one, yes. Oh my God. Okay, like I said, sometimes we have to go through some things so that we can clear ourselves to become the most clear and pure channel, if you will. And again, I don't mean this in a, you know, virgin type of pure. That's not what I mean, you know, not the church type of pure, because that word can sound so strange. But in order to go there, again, you would have to do a lot of internal work to be able to love those situations, to be able to love people that are actually coming in and maybe annoying to you, or maybe that pose a challenge to you, let me put it that way. And you have the pearl with alchemy, so you're indeed the one that's turning that around by encountering those people and situations. These are lessons and opportunities for you to get into it, and the amount of growth you'll achieve is indeed up to you. How are you using those situations? How much are you engaging with your own inner self here, with your own beautiful heart, with your own center of love, I want to say. Oh my God, this feels so amazing. Like, I feel so in love right now. This is fantastic. So, and it also says the reward at the end, from grit to grace. So you may have been at this for a very long time. You may also be one that can easily forgive, or it could be quite the opposite for you, depending on how you came in here into this incarnation. It could also be very hard for you to forgive. So that's an area that can expand here. Again, all in the sense of, you know, unconditional love growing in that area within that said year. Yeah, she's definitely, you know, giving herself grace, giving others grace, but you're also understanding others more. The more we do the internal work, the shadow work, whatever you want to call it, and the more we integrate those parts of ourselves, bringing them in, embracing them, loving them, the more we understand other people and what they're going through, and the easier it is to forgive and to send love, no matter if they are there already or no. They might not be there in this lifetime. This is their soul lesson, and they need to stay with their soul lesson. There's nothing that you can do. You can't come in and change them, or you might be able to help them a little bit, but really, if a person does not want to change or is not ready yet to see, to feel, to do the work, there's no way you're going to make them do this, right? It's much like coming in and trying to love the potential within a person. That's not how this works, right? They have to discover that potential within themselves. But what we can do, or what you can do here, is to send love, right? Maybe that requires distance between whatever is happening. Like I said, maybe challenging with people, or challenging people may be coming in, but for that reason. And to know this can be really, really helpful here, pile number one, okay? And it's right underneath the Arcturian light codes, so allow them to help you. Allow the Arcturian rays, I said tribe earlier, which was interesting, the Arcturian rays to help you here with their light codes to create that which you want to create. Dig deep within your heart, pile number one, to really bring forth why you came here, what your mission here is, because I have a strong feeling this has to do with your mission. And it doesn't have to be like on a huge grand scale. Like, the most important thing here is to really influence with your energetic imprint, which is one of love, okay? This is really important for you to know, and how you can achieve the most growth within that year. It's a beautiful reading, pile number one. I'll leave this here for you. I really hope this was helpful and insightful. You may want to pick another pile, be my guest. There's also a bunch of pick-a-cards, by the way. Has nothing to do with this, but over on Patreon, you know, we have a Lightworkers reading. I don't remember if there were Arcturian Lightworkers in that one, but it's a pick-a-card. So you can see if there's something in there for you. It's available with the $11 tier. Just so you know. Also, there's the private healing readings and higher guidance coaching calls. Also, mentorship available if you're interested. Also, if you find challenges too challenging, just reach out, okay, at universalpowertarot@gmail.com. I'll leave it there. Thank you so much for being here. If you liked this video, leave us a like, please. If you want to leave a comment, be my guest. And we'll continue to pile number two. I love you very much. Be well. Bye. Hello, if you have picked the Amethyst and pile number 2, then this is your reading. So let's have a look into what you can expect within a year from now, like what has changed in your life a year from now. And we indeed, wow, oh my God, we have 4 cards here. If you're new, I don't read reversals, not necessarily like that, doesn't work like that for me. I read very intuitively. You have the High Priestess, the Moon, the High Priest, or the Hierophant, and the Eight of Cups, which is wow. That is wow energy. There could be like a very significant relationship that's coming in for you. So what you could be in the process of right now is walking away from something. You've outgrown an old self of yours, here, pile number 2. With the Eight of Cups, it's also funny that I immediately knew where to put it, but it makes a lot of sense because you have the Hierophant here and the High Priestess, both highly connected, highly tapped in, high level commitment, maybe to your spiritual path, could also be to a person, you know, as in a relationship, could also mean within yourself, or all 3. So you're walking away from something, or you have left something behind. I really feel like strongly like an old life of yours is falling away, or has already fallen away, depending on where you are on that timeline within that year. And you'll receive significant growth here in this spiritual area, like massive. You may go through an awakening, or you may have already started that. But this seems to be so fun. You know, so many cool insights are coming in within that year for you and make you grow so incredibly much here, pile number 2. Like the Hierophant, that's magnificent. That's a lot of growth. That is one who understands different religions, who understands different lifetimes, who understands the male and the female component, who understands different colors of skin. So different differences in people, because you seem to have the ability to unite, to bring together, to benefit from differences rather than pulling people apart. You're bringing them together and be like, look, you have this ability, you have this trait, you have this, you're really good at that. Let's bring it together. Let's use those for the highest good of all, which is incredible, right? This is so cool. You may have a specific talent here. For example, if you're a trainer or a coach or a speaker, that is a very helpful ability to bring people together of different backgrounds and to make them see this within the others, which is so free. I'm so excited for you. This is an amazing talent. If you have not come into that knowledge yet that you have that ability, explore it a little bit more here throughout this year. But I feel like you will be given opportunities to see this. For example, some of you may indeed be starting like a new venture or a new job or something like that within that year that makes you see just that, like how good you are in that area. You may have also had many different jobs. You know, there is a saying as, you know, when you have many traits that you know, but none that you've perfected. I feel like you have many traits, and that's the reason, because you have lived so many lifetimes already. You may be also speaking different languages, which also helps you understand, or may have lived in different countries, which helps you understand cultures and how different they can be and how integration can actually happen. And this is really important for where we are going. Like, that is a massive skill to have, because we need to come together as one. There can be no more separation. Like, that is over. Age of Aquarius is just that. And I'm feeling a lot of feminine energy and free-flowing energy with that, which is wonderful, pile number 2 here. Incredible. With that, I want to say, and with that, Scorpio energy is actually coming in. I know the moon may not be, well, yeah, kind of, I guess. The moon, and this is our second major arcana, and you have 3 here. So that's quite a lot of growth here for you within this year that you're stepping into. There comes the element of things that may be revealed to you within that year with the moon, because the moon reveals all. There may be secrets that are coming to the surface within that year, maybe in your own life, your own surroundings, but also collectively, that you then know how to use. Where other people may be freaking out and maybe like, oh my God, you'd be like, it's okay. Like, we're good. We're good. You know, let's come together for this. Let's not make this divide us more, like the shadow and the light side, but let's bring those together. Let's embrace our differences. Let's embrace that and use that. Again, there's a strong element of not just the embracing, but also the making use of the different talents that people are born with, which brings me to the topic of authenticity, because we're all born with several skills, with a very specific skill set. It's like an imprint of, you know, a finger imprint that is very unique to you, to every person that you meet. And when they're able to bring that forth and no longer operate from a certain place, but start to grow themselves. So I very much see you here as a teacher of sorts, teaching people how to bring that out within themselves, because you do see it. You know, we were talking about, and sometimes this is, I'm sorry, I apologize, because sometimes the pals, I'm not really in thinking mode, I'm more in channeling mode, so I'm kind of like in the in-between state, so I can't remember if I said it in pile number 1 or 2, but what comes up with this is, now I forgot my own train of thought, oh no. So it was something about love and the integration. It'll come back to me, but this was fairly important, it'll come back to me and then I'll say it again, okay? Yeah, but to integrate, to really have that talent to bring different people together with different capacities, that's really, really, really important. With the High Priestess here, it lets me know, and this is leading to something, by the way, those paths go together. So there could be within yourself also some things that will be revealed to you about yourself, which is often the case here. As a teacher, you're also automatically being taught. When you're on the spiritual path, I feel like this is amplified and you're asked to do certain things and they're looking a little bit closer at you because you're supposed to be teaching, right? And so it's like, oh my gosh, well, number 2. So don't, you know, don't see this as, how do I say this? Don't see this as, oh my God, they're asking so much of me. They're asking so much of you and maybe more of you, and maybe to stay on that path a lot more. And they're really looking closer at you because you have a significant role here in the lives of other people. That's why it's so important. You wouldn't give, you know, they're bringing the example of a surgeon. You wouldn't give like a newbie the scalpel and ask them to perform heart surgery first thing that they're doing, right? So there's a significant amount of training required. Same here. I already feel, especially with the 8 of Cups here, you went through quite a bit to be where you are, but you're really significantly stepping into this, like into your position as a leader, as a teacher, possibly a spiritual teacher, if you like that term or not. Like, people think about this differently. But you're going to help people, okay? Let's leave it there. In a healing sort of a capacity here, in showing them, because you've explored yourself. That's why I said Scorpionic energy is coming in. So there'll be a deep dive also required for you, and to use that deep dive here, okay? I almost wanted to say Scorpio, but then I was like, no, pile number 2. So you could have significant Scorpio placements in your chart. And again, I feel like the High Priestess and the Hierophant are coming together here. They're showing me this movement. So they're going outwards and then they're coming together back further down here. We'll clarify with more cards to see what wants to come through. But this is very much so you coming together within yourself within that year, which is significant growth. Like, that's incredible growth. And again, in terms of mission, purpose, or career, if you will, but we're rather on the mission and purpose here, there is something you're going to be exploring within yourself that helps you on that area. The hint here is to really see it when it's coming and see it for what it is, okay? So let's have a look further. We're not quite yet at the which area of your life are you going to grow the most in, because also in pile number 1 we clarified with different cards. This one, yes, that's how we started out in pile number 1 too, with a crystallary. And we're going to see here what's coming through for you, like what will be changing for you within a year. This one, no. This one, yes. Wow, sacred center. Oh my God, I love this so much. because things are coming together here for you. We have the selenite, which is also can be used to receive higher guidance, higher information. I also want to tell you that not every crystal is for everyone. So for example, selenite for myself in the beginning of this journey was way too much because I already had a very open channel, like very soon. So that would have been too much. I couldn't even hold it. But if you want more, selenite could be a good crystal to start with. If you want less, your amethyst here might be good. Like that is really, oh my God, it feels so good. Like on the third eye, amethyst, like cold amethyst is the bomb, especially if that is opening up for you, your field of vision, your third eye, if that's opening up for you, which it very much looks like here because of the spiritual experiences, because of your own growth, that is massive here for you within that year. And the sacred center is indeed the masculine and the feminine element that we have here already with the Hierophant and the High Priestess. We have the sun and the moon. We have the infinity symbol. So those things come in together. The elements come in together. Fire, earth, wind, water can be seen here too. Wow. So there's something that is coming into balance for you, but you left something or you're on the brink of leaving something, and I can feel it because you can feel it too. I know you can. Like there's something you need to step away from if you have not already. Like that old life, you've outgrown it already. There's nothing to be had. That old life is already gone. Like it's like the snake skin, literally. That's dead. You leave it behind. Maybe children will find it and find it great, right? But it's no longer for you. And that's exactly that card. That's the action that you need to be taken in case it hasn't happened yet. But I also feel like even if you were on the brink of said change and weren't quite sure, I feel like it would still be happening. Again, much like the snake skin. Think of that, please, because that happens automatically too. The moment the snake outgrows the skin, it starts to hard and go crispy, whatever you want to call it. I don't have the right words for it, and it starts to fall away. Sometimes they really have to wind their way out of it, and it's a longer process. At other times, I guess it goes faster. That depends on the process, but that in itself is also something because it strengthens you, okay? If the wiggling process out of that old life is a bit harder, then that is also teaching you something. When there's more challenges involved, and I'm not saying there are, but there's the potential for it, that shows you who you are, what you're made of. That is clearly an aspect of growth that is really important and will serve you really well here, also in terms of teaching other people how to do it, right? Because if you can't hold the space for another person, if you don't understand where they're coming from or their point of view, if you can't feel into what the other person might be going through, I'm not saying you understand like 100%, I don't think that's really possible, but you can understand them and you can hold the space for their own exploration of self, for their own shadow work, because you've been there and you continue to be there. As a teacher, especially on this path, you will be asked to continually grow. For some of us, this can be fantastic, but sometimes we also need a break, okay? Because it can be too much. So ask for one if you need one. And they keep pointing me, because we're with the crystallary here, to those 3 stars. Maybe those mean something to you. In terms of constellation, I'm getting Orion constellation. With pile number 1, we had the Arcturians. So I'm curious if there's any more that wants to come in here in terms of that, in terms of otherworldly beings wanting to come in, wanting to work with you. Now they're giving me the blue light beings, I believe. I'm not entirely sure if that's, I think that's Sirius too. Like the dog star and those constellations. Because there is something in the stars for you. There is also help for you. To some of you, that's a topic that's a little bit more down the line because you're not as familiar with it. What else? Oh, interesting. Interesting. So we're pulling another tarot card here from the Light Seers Tarot. What else is important for them to know and for that year ahead? This one, yes. Wow. Wow, you have the Emperor. Holy smokes, Emperor's here too? No, that one not. But that's so interesting, you know, because they really know what you're doing. And the wow, like that's massive growth right there. And it also lets me know you got your stuff together here on Earth, like in the 3D, but you also have your stuff together in the higher realms, and you're starting to understand how these go together, and you make it look ever so easy, like to combine these two realms and to kind of hold your own in both of these realms. Like that's massive for this year to come from the time that you're seeing this reading, right? It's also, of course, Aries energy here. There's Mars, planet Mars involved here too. But it's, you know, that leader position, it just strengthens and fortifies what was already brought through with the Hierophant, but it's also the earthly approach. So it's the integration of the spiritual here on this earth for you, pile number 2. That's incredible. Very, very powerful, but in a really good way, because the Emperor is also, you know, they're living a really good life, but they're also making sure the people around them are living good lives too. It's wanting others to reach that position. You're not afraid of, you know, someone coming along that might be more capable than you. For you, the highest thing is the collective, is the oneness. So whoever is the most capable will be stepping forward into that position, right? So there's not the ego thinking of, oh, I can't have anyone next to me because they might outgrow me. You want people to step into this. You want them to grow because you do understand how important it is that people follow their own trails here, that they make their own mark, their own imprint here, and you understand that, and you want people to do well, which is incredible. That's incredible. There's, you know, almost no ego when it comes to that area here, which is incredible. Again, I love it. I really, really love it. But there may be revelations to coming in. For example, if the topic of jealousy does pop up for you within that year, embrace it. Be like, oh, cool. Okay, that's here. That must be a part of myself. Why is that here, right? So that depends also on you, like in terms of growth, like how far you will grow in that area. What else, please? More cards for this one? No. Okay, so we're asking the question, which area in your life will you grow the most? The spiritual is what they're saying. Okay, the spiritual area, obviously, well, with the Hierophant and the High Priestess, that's pretty self-explanatory. So you'll grow the most in the spiritual area on your spiritual path. And that requires a lot, because the next question here that we're asking is what would be the most beneficial for you to focus on in order to achieve that growth. And they're also saying to embrace the situations that are coming your way, to embrace, for example, the topic of jealousy, the topic of anger, the topic of, you know, all those emotions that we may not like to feel, to embrace those and to work with those. That's really important. Okay, so we're pulling another card of the Light Seers Tarot. That's interesting. It was different in pile number 1, but we'll just roll with it. What else do you want to tell them? Like, what would be most beneficial here to reach the said spiritual growth here that they're either seeking or are meant to find? Because I feel like, okay, there is something in the astrological chart where some people wake up and they're 36. No, yes, 36. There are other points too, but that one stayed in my mind. To those of you that are following me for some time, you know my brain doesn't work like that. I work on the emotional level. I cannot keep information like that in my head for some reason. It doesn't stick. So, 36, you may have woken up at 36. There's something around the area of 36. They're also given the age of 45. So what else is there? This one? No. There's a bunch. This one? No. No. Yes. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. No. Okay, we have the Death card here, Scorpionic energy again. So like I said with the Moon card already, I was feeling strong Scorpionic energy. So that death and rebirth, that is naturally your own. And again, with the 8 of Cups, that fits in perfectly. This is your card, by the way. I didn't even show you. Sorry about that. So those 2 cards. Yeah, in order to grow, things have to die and fall away. That's the way it is. Like, there is no way we're going to stay the same, because that means we're dead, literally. Because the moment we start to grow, stop to grow, that's what that is. Lauren Hill said something like this as well. The moment we start to, I think she said quite literally that, the moment we stop to grow is when we're dead. And you seem to be constantly asked, and I said this before, the spiritual path and being someone that other people are listening to, like in the terms of being a teacher, whatever you want to call yourself here, or being someone that is a leader, that holds a strong leader position, you will be asked to grow in that position. There will be challenges. If you've ever, you know, for example, take a regular career, a 9 to 5, and if you wanted to step up and become, you know, step up into a manager position, you have to learn quite a bit, like on your way. But it's a trial and, or can be a trial and error type of a situation. But if you don't grow, things might not go as great. Versus if you do grow and go with the situation, with the challenges that are being presented to you, and be like, I want to be that leader and I want to be a good leader, then that self-reflection here is very much required. And he who asks for it shall receive it, is what they're saying. He who asks for it shall receive it. So it's a hand-in-hand type of a situation, like an organic growth of sorts, and an organic death and rebirth process that you might be constantly undergoing, sometimes over longer periods of times, and sometimes over shorter period of times where it clicks immediately, and other things you may be, you know, prolonging for a little bit of a longer time. But it looks to me like you just recently underwent one of those processes, which catapults you forward again, like on your spiritual journey. So this is where the most growth is to be had on your spiritual path, and also how you can achieve it by staying on that growth path, by embracing the situations that are coming in for you to learn, by being accepting of things. Old things have to be buried, old things that no longer serve, that you've outgrown. You don't carry those with you. You leave them where they are. They've served their purpose, and then you're moving into the new. And to understand that, to understand the cycles of life, I feel like there's a lot to be learned, like within that year. So we'll leave your reading, pile number 2, at that. I really hope it was helpful and insightful and helps you understand, you know, your year ahead, or what is your life going to look like in a year from now. Looks like a lot of growth, like really, really amazing for you here. If you're looking for some help and guidance, 2222. Reach out at Universal Power Tarot. There are the coaching calls. There's also mentorship that I offer for this very path. And there's also, of course, the private healing readings that you can choose from. Everything will be explained in the description box down below. There's also videos attached if you're interested. Yeah, if you want to support the channel, no obligation whatsoever. You can go over to Patreon. There's a $2 tier if you want the extended. There won't be an extended for this one, but there's a bunch of picker cards over there on Patreon as well. You choose the $11 tier. Right, that being said, I love you. Thank you for being here. If you like this reading, if it resonated with you, please leave us a like. Also, you can leave a comment which pile resonated for you and why it resonated with you if you feel so inclined. And yeah, I'll see you in the next reading. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. If you have picked the blue agate, then this is your pile and your reading. Let's hop into it and let's have a look at how much you will have grown a year from now. And we're also going to look into the other areas, like which area you will have grown the most, and what leads you there, okay? What you need to focus on right now to achieve said growth. So we'll have a look into it. You have the Chariot, the Fool, the 10 of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles. I'll show you your cards. Those are yours. What immediately sprung to me as I was looking at your cards right before I started your reading was this one, like the 10 of Pentacles. So family and stability, you know, a healthy, happy, balanced home life seems to be the focus here for you, like the growth that you will have achieved in a year from now. It's all very dependent on you, like with a Chariot. And the Knight of Pentacles is letting me know, because we're jumping a little bit back and forth apparently. The Knight of Pentacles is letting me know you're on your journey there, like to more stability in several areas of your life. The 10 of Pentacles lets me know it's definitely achievable, 111, within this year, to have that wealth for generations in terms of financial stability, because that can give us a whole lot of stability in other areas. We should not let that dominate our lives. You know, that shouldn't be like the primary thing to strive. Shouldn't be. It's up to you and your path, obviously. But there's a difficulty in terms of letting money rule your life versus you're there and you're using money as a tool to achieve that stability. There's also obviously that journey also to find that stability within yourself, and the root chakra, okay, that is tied to that. Sacral chakra also, still the lower chakras that are, you know, tied to Mother Earth, that are, you know, nurtured from Mother Earth through Mother Earth, and that help us achieve exactly that, you know, that stability, that that abundance. But it's more about stability for you, I feel like. So you will achieve a lot more stability within that year. Now, to some of you, money could have indeed played a role in terms of, you know, it's just running through your fingers type of a situation. That could apply to some of you here. To others of you, that means you're carefully are planting your seeds here already, because you know that they might raise up to be something. And the more you're planting, so you may have made a couple of investments and you're expecting at least one of those investments to start to blossom. What I'm strongly hearing here is Bitcoin, which is interesting. So alternative currencies. So you may have invested in Bitcoin and are just waiting for another jump. Interesting. There's a really good friend beside you. They could have already passed over, or could be a spirit guide of yours, but I'm perceiving them as a very good friend, and they're leading you, they're helping you with this task. They're helping you achieve your 10 of Pentacles here, that which you have sown. To some of you, it's interesting because I'm seeing this as a young man here, and then the man is more mature in this image here. So something that you may perceive as taken a very long time, or may have taken a long time to achieve it, and it may very well have, depending on your path. We have to be a vibrational match to that to attract that stability. Again, root chakra, sacral chakra, in order to keep that. Otherwise it would be running through our fingers. We're not a match to that. We may be getting it, but then it's just leaving us just as fast, because we're not in that center of stability within ourselves where we're like, yes, like that's it, that's the space I want to be in. That feeling, that stable feeling that you can give to yourself regardless of your external circumstances. That's really important. I feel this is key for you within that year. My dear pal, number 3 is to focus on that internally, to feel that stability. So in meditation, for example, to reach peaceful states can be really helpful, because even if we're there for 5 seconds or for a second even, that helps our brain. Same with stability, that can be trained. You can feel stable even in the most unstable of circumstances. It is a matter of practice, is what they're saying here, which could bring us to our next card, the Fool. That could send you on an entirely different journey, and you could actually be able to teach other people, or to, you know, tell them, oh, this is how I did it, you know, teach them how you got there. And this could send you on an entirely, you know, new path, versus, you know, okay, I'll try to explain this. So striving for something because you want it for yourself, because you're just like, this is very beneficial, I want this for my life, says you. And then all of a sudden you're just like, oh, you're learning a skill or two on this very journey, which you're then going to share with other people, showing them how to do this. I feel this is a very earthly kind of a component. For example, pie number 2 was very, very spiritual. I'm not getting this here so much. I'm really getting a more of an earthly path, but that will take you places, okay? Might take you places you didn't expect. Because with the Fool, she's just holding on to this, and she's already trusting to fall into that, because she can't hold on forever like this. At some stage, she's gonna let go, maybe ever so willingly. So maybe what's gonna happen for you within that year is that you're stepping away, and this is very interesting, because now it starts to become very intriguing, because it's like you will achieve that stability, or Spirit might show you in financial or other areas of your life what stability can feel like, and all of a sudden you discover on that journey, or when you have it, that wasn't actually what you were striving for. This is so interesting. And this is kind of like when we're outgrowing ourselves, where it's just like, oh my gosh, okay, this is leading somewhere. For example, yeah, staying with the example of money, you know, achieving wealth, financial wealth, or having enough for everything that you would like to buy. And then seeing, oh, that doesn't really make us happy, does it? It just provides stability in certain areas, but that's not where it ends. So there's a whole journey that is starting from that point. And this is so interesting because it seems to be one that might not be expected by you, and that is coming in all of a sudden. But that's bringing you a lot of freedom, but it's definitely putting you on a journey, because all of a sudden we go from minor arcana to major arcana. I keep hearing like the 6 months mark. So something is achieved, or 7 or 8 months, but 6, 7, 8, something like that, where it's just like it takes you, because that journey wants to take you to this place, to that stability that you're on right now. And it also wants to take you to other places though once you're there. So that realization is really important. Sometimes we need to have it because we think it makes us happy. We think that's what we want, but then that's not what we need, really. Or we think we need to have, you know, have a really fit body or look a certain way, and that's gonna make us happy. It's under those impressions and you'll get there. Like, you'll be granted your wish here, pile number 3, 100%. But it'll take you further, which is wonderful, because this is not where it ends. And this is so cool. And that realization is going to help you teach others, first of all, how to achieve that, but also to take them a step further, because you have gone a step further. And also, they keep saying the example of, you know, the billionaire that is all of a sudden going to Asia and going into a monk's monastery, giving away all of their wealth, because I'm not saying that's your path, I'm just saying that's an example of that very path. And the fool doesn't take much with them is the interesting thing too, which brings me back to the topic of death. And again, this is not a prediction, okay? I'm just bringing you an example. When we're dying, we can't take material things with us. What we will take with us is experiences with our loved ones, you know, with the people, you know, with our friends, possibly family, the experience, the countries you've lived in, you know, the languages you've spoken, all the experiences, and that it's a completely different type of stability, I want to say, than the one you originally set out to seek, which is so interesting. Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm just thinking about that. I love that I don't have to find a title for this, which is freaking fantastic. I'm so bad at this. I have a really hard time wrapping things up like that. But back to you here. So there are quite a bit of energies that are just pulling you that way. So it's more of a feeling sensation. So I have a feeling here for you as well. Things are going to change a whole lot for you within that year. You're going to step away from one thing, achieve it, step away from it again, because something else is calling you, starting to call you. And then we're coming into consciousness, like a much more conscious action is taken here by you. That's when you already fallen into the flower of life here, and all of that beautiful potential, that divine potential that's down here. And that's when you're already evolved a little bit, when you're kind of used to that journey, or where this wants to take you, kind of still might not be exactly knowing where you're going, but it's a whole lot clearer. And you have the black and the white horse here in front of you. That's also very much like in the traditional tarot, where it's like they could be pulling other ways, but somehow you brought them back together. So again, in knowing yourself deeper, which is what will happen within that year for you. And this is not even so much by your own involvement. The other two piles were more like those people that picked those piles were very involved. With you, it really feels like they're guiding you there. So no matter what you do, basically, you will achieve this. I'm now also being given the 7 of Pentacles in terms of, you know, it'll grow by itself. You already did the work that you needed to be doing, so your own involvement stopped there. And you already planted the seeds with the Knight of Pentacles, and they're going to grow into the 10 of Pentacles, but then leading you down this other route. And then becoming conscious of that there's a lot more going on in this life. This life is so much richer than you originally thought. So basically from a 2D plane, all of a sudden to a 3D plane, where we're just like, oh my God, like I never thought this was possible. So you never thought this was even in the cards for you. Could also mean a move to a different country. That comes up a lot for you. Or a change in location. Very unexpected one, I want to say. So what happens like halfway through there is going to be very unexpected for you. Not in a bad sense whatsoever. It's just going to surprise you, because to some of you, this can turn your world upside down. Your view of the world, your perception and perspective of the world, that can be like a 180. But again, something that is, how do I put this? Because sometimes these things can be hard to accept. I feel in your case, it won't be so hard to accept, because it's like natural, like, yes, okay, thank you. Like more of your soul light is coming in within that year and is all of a sudden guiding you and is telling you, this is where we need to go. And so you're following suit here, my dear pile number 3s. You're following suit, which is beautiful. I love this. And again, when more of soul light comes in and more heart is activated, what happens is our journeys start to, completely change. Like our lives are starting to change and are no longer what they used to be. For example, from the corporate world to something that is more heart-based, I want to say. Something that is more on the feminine side. You may still do the corporate world, but just in a very different expression. That could be also the case. But I feel like a move is involved here for sure. Like things are starting to shift for you and you're asked to go along. You're also asked to integrate like the shadow and the light side. Again, also in the realms of getting to know yourself better and what you actually want versus what society made you believe you want. You want to be skinny, don't you? You want to be a billionaire. You want to drive that Lamborghini. You know what I'm getting. I'm over exaggerating, but it's that, or you want to have that big butt, right? Those things, that's what's being suggested. Or the happily ever after marriage without having to, put in any growth work. It's just like working out the way that you two come together, right? Versus reality and versus, again, what you really want, what your heart is asking you, what your soul path actually looks like. So there's quite a bit of change here for you within that year. Which is beautiful and in a very different direction, I want to say. Beautiful stuff for sure. All right, we're going to clarify here a little bit with other different cards underneath, like we already did in the other two piles, before I start asking which area you're going to grow in the most, which we kind of clarified in there anyways, but we'll get to that and what you need to focus on specifically to reach that growth state. Let me see. What else, Spirit, please? Okay, gateway of light activations want to come in. So let's clarify. Let me know, please, what you think of these readings, if they resonate with you, because that's really helpful. I already commented underneath, the last sign readings, what you would like to see. Please do me the favor and let me know in the comment section if this is resonating with you, if you would like to see more of this, if you don't want the sign readings anymore, if you want an integration of both possibly. Please keep in mind I only have so much energy, but I want to hear your opinions, okay? I want to hear what you think, what you would like to see. You can also make suggestions what you would like to see in a pick-a-card. This one, no. Yeah. More, yeah. Let's see, what else do they need to know about their year ahead and the changes that are coming for them, or whatever else you'd like to let them know right now. This one, yes. Wow, okay, there's a bunch of light codes. We had that in pile number 1 where we had the Arcturian light codes. With you, we have Hathor light codes. So very strong connection to Egypt. I feel like that may be coming online for you within that year. I'm also drawn to the Oracle of the Mermaids. So Atlantean energies are coming in. These are closely tied together. Egypt, Lemuria, Atlantis. Look into that topic more if that starts to pop up for you. Because to some of you, that may not be so relevant yet. But have a look into this because it could be very beneficial. Also in terms of vibration, in terms of sacred geometry, things are going to shift so much for you, I feel like. In terms of, again, from a more earthly life to way more of a spiritual life. So there's a strong sense of awakening here in terms of what is actually going on, like what is actually happening. So it says light immersion, full system upgrade, and power recall. And this is exactly when we're starting to wake up, pile number 3, when we're just like, okay, the world how we saw it is no longer working for us. It starts to crumble, it starts to have cracks. And this is a really good thing, because that's when we're starting to see we have so much influence and power on the energetic plane. There's like, energetically, you can do so much. Like on relationship levels, you can send out love. That's just what I mean, okay? I don't mean spells in terms of people falling in love with other people. I highly discourage people from that. There's so much karma involved in that. Plus, you don't want to get involved in that. Like, it's not a good idea. Also, you know, thinking about how would you feel if someone did that to you? It's not a good feeling. So be mindful in case that pops up here, because in terms of power dynamics, we can, and this is very human, very natural for us, that shadow side, that shadow aspect, that in terms when we receive power, how do we use that power? Do we use it for the good, for the overall, like for the highest good of all, or do we use it self-serving? There isn't necessarily right or wrong. Each one has consequences. I really want to point that out here, okay? Depending which road you're going down. Obviously, we sometimes need to go down the road of self-serving in order to learn that this may not be the right thing for us, especially if you're here, you know, when you're here, this channel watching personal and spiritual growth, I would assume you're more on the side of more inclined to be, you know, serving the greatest good. But again, this journey has a way of showing us who we really are, you know, revealing ourselves to ourselves so that we can have a good look at all of those dynamics, because then when we discover them within ourselves, we can see them in the external. And you know, it's the man in the mirror. That's what that is. You know, you change the external circumstances by changing yourself first. You're not pointing fingers and asking someone else to change. This is where it starts. This is where it starts, and I also want to say where it ends, because this is your field of influence, and you're radiating through yourself and from yourself. And the Hathor light codes here might really, really help you, like that full system upgrade. Your whole body is going to come online. Your whole energetic system is going to come online. This is quite the journey to be had. If you need help and assistance here, I offer the higher guidance coaching calls, I offer the healing readings, and I also offer a mentorship program. So if you would like to take advantage of this, or if you want to keep this in mind, because I feel like this is going to be an accelerated journey for you, reach out at universalpowertarot@gmail.com, okay? Of course, there's many other, whoever you resonate with. I'm just saying, there are people that can help you on this journey that you're on. You don't have to do this by yourself, is what I'm saying, okay? All right, cool. Read this now. But it's striking. It's really striking. It's from the darkness into the light, and then back to the darkness, and then back to the light. Because often it's a misconception, I feel like, that we feel we have left our spiritual path when we're going through the darker periods. Plus, you have to keep in mind, when you're raising really high, which will happen at the beginning of your journey, but then you also go through shadow periods, and those can seem especially dreadful, I want to say, when you've been this high, when you're just like, oh my God, this is amazing, you know, all those higher light codes, the energies, the DNA activations, seeing maybe light beings, starting to channel, starting to feel stuff, starting to receive messages, but then you're asked to do the shadow work because you're a human being and you're here to grow. Like, one of my very, very good friends here made me aware yesterday in a call that I had with her. She's an amazing woman. When she starts to finally, you know, not to finally, but to step into the work, I will definitely recommend her. She's an incredible woman. What a woman. And she said, why, ask yourself this question, like, why are you even here on this earth? Like, if there weren't any potential for growth, why did you come here? Like, you came here to grow. You came here to have certain experiences, because we kind of are sometimes under the misinformed impression that things need to be different than they actually are. But again, question posed, if you find it particularly difficult this lifetime, let's say, keep that in mind. Like, you came here to experience that's why you're here, to experience what you're experiencing, okay? And very much to come back into your power here and to realize, like, the conditionings that have happened here, the conditionings. I'm very much getting the conditionings, and with that I'm seeing like a washing machine, like brainwashing style, and, you know, conditioner, let's put some more, and let's, you know, make everyone really soft and, you know, obedient. And that's not going to happen any longer here in your journey is what I'm meaning to say. Like that's one of the major changes, I feel like, the breaking free, the coming back to yourself, to more of yourself, like really, really big change here within a year for you. Amazing. So roll with it, I want to say. If you need help, call out for help and you shall receive it. This one, yeah. We'll pull you one more card. The Heart and Soul Oracle here, pile number 3. What do we have? This one? Yes. Okay. Yep, well, yeah. Okay, this is your image from the card and it says you are currently too close to see things clearly. Detach a little and you will start to see things from a higher perspective. Exactly what will be happening here for you anyways. But this is to be kept in mind in terms of what to focus on right now in order to benefit from the most growth within this year. Okay, so if you feel you don't see clearly, take a step back or start to meditate here maybe already, because meditation has a wonderful way of making us see things from a higher perspective. By emotionally detaching from this situation, a simple solution also becomes clear. This is when I feel like you will start to take things way less personal. This is when ego is starting to fall away also massively. And the acceptance of what is. Some of you may even start to see the world, at least for a little time, for a limited period of time, with the eyes of spirit. So how they perceive the duality of this world. And when you've seen it once, it will stay with you for life, because that is significant. So significant when your enemy is no longer your enemy, but is really a person that you really, really love, a soul that you really, really love. And you know, there's no reason for any hatred. There's just love. Like, it's wild when that happens, when that oneness starts to click. And to some of you, this is exactly what you're coming into. And yeah, work with it. If you feel you're too close, and what you can do already is starting to meditate and starting to work on yourself in that way, to take things less personal, to step away from duality, from judging, this is good, this is bad. Because there's such a huge gray area in between too. Plus, when you take in the higher perspective into consideration here, things change dramatically here, which is exactly what I see happening here for you. So that's what you already can practice, pile number 3, to get the most growth out of this year. I hope this was beneficial for you. I'm sending you so, so much love, light and shadow, and yeah, that's it. If you enjoyed this, please leave us a like. Also, please leave us a comment on the set questions that I asked earlier. If you could let us know what you would like to see, if you would like us to continue with the sign readings, if you would like to see more pick-a-cards, what topics of the pick-a-cards it was, and if you want to share what resonated about this pile for you. All right, my loves, I love you, and I'll see you next time. Mwah! Bye.